Hello everyone, welcome back to Ayumilove channel for another Awaken QSR content. In today's video, I'll be showcasing my team that I used to score SSS ranking for the Dawn Guard dungeon. So let's check them out. So this is the Dawn Guard. I managed to gain the SSS rank. And in order to gain this rank, you need to deal 900,000 damage or more. And once you achieve the SSS rank, you will be able to unlock this Dawn Guard avatar frame to purchase it. For Dashmere avatar, you will need to achieve a S rank to gain or to unlock this avatar frame. This avatar. Alright, so let me show you the team that I used to challenge this mythic difficulty. So I have two teams here, Team A and Team B. Team A consists of Virgil, Hector, Yolanda, and Abaddon. Whereas for Team B, I have Garrell, Edicris, Boolin, and Scarlett. So let me enlighten you what are the rules for each hero. So Edicris here, the blue guy, is here to remove the positive effect. He's equipped in a curse set to allow him to remove multiple positive effects from the boss, to prevent the boss from having at least 4 positive effects or more, where he can nuke all of your heroes down. And Hector is here to apply the increased damage taken on the boss and also apply negative effect. Yolanda is here to provide support to my allies here with a massive shield to protect them from the boss E damage. Apart from that, she's able to apply the bonus turn on Abaddon, so Abaddon can perform his ultimate attack multiple times. Plus, she's also capable of removing a negative effect through her basic attack from her allies. And finally, we have Abaddon here. He's our main damage nuker, and he is also here to apply the negative effect on the boss, and as well as his ultimate ability has the ability to increase the duration of the negative effects. For Team B, I have Garrell. He's my main damage nuker. Edicris is here to remove the positive effect. Boolin is here to accompany Edicris, as well as to apply the induction negative effect, so that each time my heroes attack, the induction effect will light up the boss with the lightning attack. And finally, we have Scarlett to apply a bleeding negative effect on the boss, so that the boss will consistently have 4 negative effects to prevent him from applying the reduced damage taken by 50%. And for the spells, I selected Gaia's Renewal for additional healing since there's no dedicated healer here, and Sundering Purgatory for the defense down, so that the boss would receive more damage, and it also considered as 1 negative effect on the boss. So with the spell Sundering Purgatory, you have 1 negative effect, accompanied by Hector's increased damage taken, that is 2, and Abaddon will apply negative effect through his basic attack. Same goes with the Scarlett. So at the start of the battle, you will have Yolanda to begin first, so she'll apply the defense down, followed by using her special ability to provide the bonus turn to Abaddon. Then for Virgil, you will just want to use his basic attack to strip away the buff that is applied every round on the boss. And currently I'm using Hector here as my second damage nuker, so I'll apply the increased damage taken for Abaddon to deal more damage. And for the first round, Abaddon will need to use his basic attack to apply the random stats negative effect, so the boss will have at least 4 negative effects to prevent him from applying the damage reduce. And it's best to gear Abaddon in a curse set so he'll be able to proc bonus attack. So once you apply the negative effect of the random stats through Abaddon, then you can consistently use his ultimate ability from now on. So for Virgil on the second round, just keep on using his basic attack. It's best to equip Virgil in a curse set as well, so each time he performs his basic attack, he'll be able to charge up his rage meter. And for Abaddon here, use his ultimate ability to increase the duration of the negative effect. So on the third round, the boss will apply a no positive effect, a single target attack on a random hero here. So I will reserve Yolanda's for the next round. And as usual, Virgil will use his basic attack here followed by Hector. Now he can recall back his axe and gain some bonus turn to deal more damage to the boss. Alright, that's his first axe. Now this is his second axe. And finally, Abaddon will use his ultimate. Abaddon's damage scales based on the number of negative effect on the enemy. So the more negative effect they have, the more damage you deal. So in this round, the boss will perform his AoE nuke on round 4. So I would advise you to use Yolanda's shields here if you have a Yolanda in your account. And then use Virgil basic attack. If let's say assuming that the boss applies the no positive effect on Abaddon, then you will need to restart the battle again because he really needs a shield to sustain throughout the lengthy battle here. So let's check out how many positive effect on the boss. Now he hasn't have any, so we just use his ultimate ability here. Right, there's another bonus attack from the curse side. So the shield protects the squishy heroes like Abaddon, Hector and Virgil from those AoE nuke. So right now I'll provide a bonus turn to Abaddon here so he can deal more ultimate attacks. So currently the boss has 3 positive effect, which is still okay. As long as the boss doesn't have 4 positive effect, then the boss will not be able to nuke you down. And also it's great to speed tune your buff cleanser or buff stripper at the first or second in the team so that you can strip away those defense up buff or damage reduce before your Nuker goes. So as usual, Hector will use his ultimate, recall his axes, then perform his bonus turn here. Increased damage taken allows Abaddon to deal more damage through his ultimate ability. And Abaddon will perform his ultimate again here. Okay, on round 5, the boss will strip away all those buffs. And later on the round 6, he will perform a no positive effect. So we are still safe here. We will reserve our... we can use our Guy's Renewal here to tank the damage so that it gives some time for Yolanda's shield to refresh back. So now the boss has still 3 positive effects here. The one that we don't want is the defense up and the critical resistance up, which reduces our attacker hero's damage output here. Alright, the boss will apply the no positive effect. Luckily it does not apply on either Abaddon or the attacker heroes. Right, so now the boss has around about 6 positive effect. You need to have Virgil to perform at least 3 attacks here. So that's 1 attack followed by his bonus turn and the curse set proc here. If the curse does not proc here, right, then the battle will end here because the boss will have 4 positive effects. So now we use Hector's ultimate here again, deal more damage. So it's basically lots of RNG here involved because you need the curse set to proc at the right timing to remove the positive effect from the boss. Probably you can also use like Water Prison to strip away 1 positive effect to help reduce the RNG effect here. So let's provide a bonus turn to Abaddon. So now my heroes are like close to dying here. And it's best to use Yolanda's shields on the next round. I think Hector will die due to the AoE nuke on round 8 because the boss will perform a strip away buff here. Luckily, the guard buff applied by Yolanda allows Abaddon to survive here. So in round 9, you'll use Yolanda's heal to protect her allies here, so that Abaddon can further deal more damage. It'll be very difficult to survive on round 10 because the boss will apply 6 positive effects on himself. So luckily, Virgil gains some bonus attack here and bonus turn. That's enough to strip away those positive effects. And now Abaddon have another chance to perform his ultimate here. Hopefully we can reach 800,000 damage. But that was a very close one. Okay, the boss has like more than 5 positive effects, so in this round our heroes will die here. So we'll use our last ultimate from Abaddon to reach 800,000 damage. So we will need to achieve another 100,000 damage on Team B to unlock the SSS rank here. If you have a Garrell ascended to 5th ascension, right, your Garrell will be able to deal massive amount of damage to this boss. And if you are able to pair him with a decreased defense champion here, or hero, then it will be great. So at the start of the battle, Edicris will use his ultimate ability to strip away the buff. If you're manualing this, then you can use Edicris ultimate since it deals 20% extra damage compared to his basic attack here. You will need to be lucky here in order for Scarlett to apply at least 3 bleeding effect along with the defense down, so that the boss will have at least a minimum of 4 negative effect, prevent him from gaining this damage reduce buff. Hopefully the wolf will join and apply another bleeding here. Okay, so we'll use Edicris here to strip away the buff. So we weren't lucky to gain additional bleeding from Scarlet Wolf, that's why the boss now received the buff to reduce the damage. Hence you are seeing a very low damage output from my team here on this round. Okay, we'll use Garrell's ultimate ability here. The good thing about using Garrell here is because he has a passive skill to sustain himself through his counter attack. For the rest of the heroes here, I will recommend you to gear like Edicris in the curse set so he can perform multiple bonus attack to strip away the buff. And for Boolin, probably you can use equip her in a revival set to heal herself. And for Scarlett, you could either use a curse set to increase the bleeding effect so that the first 4 rounds your hero will be able to apply more bleeding effect. And if you're looking for sustainability, probably you want to equip Scarlett in a revival set to heal herself. So Edicris here pairs very well with Boolin here because each time he performs a bonus attack, the boss will gain those lightning damage from the induction negative effect. So as you can see, each time they do like mini damage, the lightning damage will provide a supplementary damage. So it makes it easier for you to score at least like 100 to 200,000 damage. You can use Boolin instead of Scarlett if you do not have a build, just that you need to equip Virgil here in a curse set. Scarlett is much more reliable in terms of consistently maintaining those 4 negative effects with a wolf bleeding effect here. Our heroes are like close to dying because there's lack of sustainability and healing. The wolf wasn't that lucky to apply the bleeding effect here. You can also substitute Edicris with Okubi if you have him, because Okubi also is able to apply the the no positive effect. I'm not sure if that works on the boss. But he also has this demonic flora, which allows you to apply multiple negative effect on the boss each time the boss or the enemy gains a negative effect, such as like the Scarlett wolf here, Scarlett bleeding effect. And apart from that, the Okubi also has a special ability to strip away a positive effect on his special ability there. Now we are remaining 3 heroes on the battlefield. So hopefully we can score more damage here. Oh yeah, we already reached the milestone of 900,000 damage to unlock the triple S rank here. Alright, the boss will nuke our heroes down because the boss has more than 4 positive effects. 4 or more positive effects here. So that's how my rank goes. Hopefully you get some ideas on how to build your team based on this strategy. Right, so that's the end of the battle. Let me show how I gear each of these heroes and the specific gear sets to enable this to work. So let me start off with the Team A first. For Team A, we have Abaddon here. Here are his total stats: 4,293 attack, 100% critical rate, 239% critical damage, and 127 speed. You do not need to care much about speed because the boss is really slow. So I think speed above like 100 is sufficient. You want to prioritize on attack and critical damage so that Abaddon can deal massive amount of damage through his ultimate ability. 100% critical rate is a must for all of your attacker heroes. And for the boss, he does not have much resistance, hence you can have as low as like 5% focus. And here are his equipment. He's currently get in the curse set to allow him to have a 35% chance to launch his basic attack, and warrior set is here to provide additional 15% attack. So let me quickly show you the equipment stats. So this is the weapon. We have some attack, critical damage, critical rate, and speed. This is helmet, attack and critical rate. Ideally this would be a critical damage and focus, since it's also a debuffer. This is the chest plate, some critical damage, attack and defense and health. Ideally this would be a critical rate. And this is the attack boots with some critical damage, speed, agility and resistance. This piece of equipment is not really good substats. I would rather have some critical rate and focus here. And this is a critical rate ring. If you are able to achieve a massive amount of critical rate through the other equipments, you can get a critical damage ring instead. So this critical ring has some critical damage and speed. These two stats is not that useful here. And finally, we have the attack necklace with some critical rate, focus, speed, and health. His glyphs are not maxed out. I only left out the blast, which provides him additional health percentage, and speed. Resistance is not useful for him. Probably, if the developers would change it to focus, it would be much more useful for him as a debuffer. His abilities are all maxed out, and it's required for him to max this out so that it's easier for him to perform his ultimate ability. Because once the enemy has at least 5 negative effects on him, once he attacks the enemy, his trait known as the Soul Reaper will instantly reduce the cooldown of his ultimate ability to 0. Same goes with his other abilities, but for the Abaddon AI, he'll mainly prioritize on using this Death Knell. And by having curse set on him, right? So once you apply this Death Knell, he can use his curse set to launch an additional 4 attacks to maximize all of the random stats down here. And Abaddon is able to keep it consistently up because his Death Knell ultimate ability will increase the duration of those random stats by 1 turn. So you'll always remain up, provided you're able to consistently reset this Death Knell ultimate ability. Alright, so this is the first hero in my team. For the second hero, we have Yolanda. So here are Yolanda's stats. She has around about 21,000 health, 1,458 defense, 168 speed, 32.5% focus, and 77% resistance. But the main stats that you want to focus on her will be health and defense. The more health she has, the more healing that she can apply to her heroes, to her allies, using the Gaia's Renewal, because the Gaia's Renewal spell is based on the hero's max health. So ideally you want the highest health hero in your team to use the Gaia's Renewal health spell. And for the gear, she's currently equipped in a revival set to help her restore her health each time she takes a turn. But she's pretty tanky compared to most of the attacker heroes there. So let me show you the equipment for her. So this is the weapon, prioritize on health and speed. Ideally she should go either first or second. And this is the helmet, some health, focus, defense. This is a chest plate, health, critical rate, agility, damage. Basically these are my leftover pieces. And this is my health boots with some attack, focus, and resistance here. This is a critical rate ring with some speed. I chose this equipment because of the speed to speed tune her to go either first or second in the team. And this is the health necklace with some triple roll on blood stats, health, resistance, agility, and defense. So most of the pieces of the equipment here are not really that great. Just that you need to prioritize on the primary stats and have at least 2 stats that you need in the equipment there. And her glyphs are maxed out as well as her abilities. So what makes Yolanda very powerful in this team composition is because of her special ability, Chain of Light, which grants a bonus turn to a team member, as well as immune and attack up buff for 2 turns. So bonus turn is very useful because it allows your attacker hero to take another turn to perform his ultimate ability, and attack up buff increases his damage output by 50%. This is really useful. And for the Shield of the Light, this is her ultimate ability which grants a shield to all team members for 3 turns. So this one allows you to protect your squishy heroes so that you have time to prolong the battle to increase the damage amount that your hero can deal to the boss. And finally, she have a Sunburst basic attack, which basically removes the negative effect from her ally. And she's not ascended. If she's ascended, right, then her guard will be entering a 2-turn cooldown, which means your squishy heroes can be protected much more frequently compared to 4-turn. So ideally this would be ascended so your squishy heroes can last longer in the battlefield. Alright, so that is second hero. For the third hero, we have Hector here. Here are his total stats. Basically, as an attacker hero, you want to prioritize on the attack, critical rate, and critical damage. Focus is a must as a debuffer hero. Because I'm using Hector for other areas in the game, that's why I have at least like more than 50% focus. But for the Dawn Guard, right, he does not require much focus because his resistance is pretty low. He's speed tuned to go third in a team. Let's check out the gear. He's currently in a mixed gear, broken stats gear. So let's check each of the equipment here. This is the weapon. It has prioritize on speed, attack, critical damage. Ideally, this defense will be a critical rate. This is a helmet with some critical rate, focus, attack, and critical damage. This is a good substats group. And this is the chest plate with some critical damage, critical rate, and attack. This is an attack boots with some critical damage and focus. I will trade agility for like critical rate. So the more critical rate you have here, you can use a critical damage ring. So for this side, I have a critical rate ring with some focus and attack. And finally, we have an attack necklace with some health, focus, defense, and critical rate. So these equipments are not really that good. Just like average. And if you manage to get very good pieces, you can achieve like around about 4,500 attack and over like 260% critical damage here. And his glyphs are maxed out as well as his abilities. So the good thing about Hector is his special ability, War X Throw, which allows your heroes to deal more damage to them because of this increased damage taken. So Hector will be able to throw two axes. The first axe will make the enemy receive 30% damage, and the second axe throw will increase the damage taken by 50%. And the best part is Abaddon will be able to increase the... I'm not sure whether it prolong this damage taken buff. And the good thing about this Ancestral Call ultimate ability, it grants a bonus turn to Hector. So since he throws two axes on the enemy, he gains 2 turns to deal more damage to the enemy there. And he's not ascended. If he's ascended, he'll deal additional 50% more damage to the boss. And finally, this is the 4th hero on my team, Virgil. Here are his total stats. We want to prioritize on the health, defense, and speed, and focus, because he does not do much damage through his skills, apart from his Arcane Sanction, which is quite random. He only has a 40% chance to apply the Arcane Sanction on the boss to deal massive amount of damage, similar like Garrell damage or that. And for the AI skills, I'll disable his abilities so that he only prioritizes on his rage grade, where his rage grade will only remove 1 positive effect. So I give him in a curse set to have him have more chances to remove the boss positive effect from the boss. And these are his gears. He's currently equipped in a curse set. So this is the weapon with a triple roll and focus here. Helmet with some critical rate and critical damage. The chest plate with some attack, critical rate, critical damage and focus. This is a health boots with some defense, critical rate and agility and health. This is a health ring, focus, critical damage, defense and precision. This one is not really a good piece. And finally, we have a health necklace with some attack, critical rate and defense. This is my leftover pieces of a curse set that I use for my poison team. So basically, I just equip him in a curse set so that he has a chance to proc. Has a 35% chance to proc the bonus attack. His glyphs and abilities are all maxed out here. So you just sometimes, right, the boss will have apply this buff on himself called dodge, which makes it difficult for your hero that remove the positive effect, because if the boss is able to dodge, right, you will not be able to strip away the positive effect. So ideally, if you want to prevent that, you'll need a higher amount of, I think, precision. Precision is to prevent attacks from deflection. I think probably it's another skill. Is it accuracy down or accuracy up? Not sure which one, but I think it's quite difficult to remove the positive effect from boss if the boss already has this dot chart. If you're unable to remove the positive effect from boss, you'll need to restart the battle again, because once the boss have like 4 positive effect or more, you'll make the run end abruptly, because the boss will deal AoE true damage. Alright, so let's check out the Team B heroes. We have Garrell here. He's my main damage nuker. Here are his total stats. He has 4129 attack, 100% critical rate, 228% critical damage, and 126 speed. As usual, attacker heroes, you want to prioritize attack, critical rate, and critical damage. He's also get in a curse set, so curse set allows him to gain bonus attack and charge up his rage meter quickly, so he can go into the Asura state. So let's check out the equipment stats here. So these are the things that you want to prioritize: attack, critical rate, precision. Focus is not needed for him since he doesn't apply any negative effect. This is the helmet, so critical damage and attack. This is a chest plate with some health, critical rate, critical damage and attack. This is an attack boots with some agility, resistance and critical rate. This is a critical ring with some speed, critical damage. And finally, we have an attack necklace with some critical rate, critical damage, and agility. His glyphs and abilities are all maxed out. So his Garrell is just a pretty unique hero, which just basically pretty unique and simple hero because he just basically deals massive amount of damage to the enemy, and you just need to equip him in curse set so that he will gain more rage through his flaming Asura trait here. Alright, so moving on to the second hero. So we have, who's this? We have Boolin here. He's one of the heroes to remove the positive effect from the boss. Yeah, her total stats: 3942 attack, 175 speed, 100% critical rate, 190% critical damage, and 78% focus. She does not need focus to apply the induction negative effect because that's her unique negative effect. If you want to use her to apply the Sundering Purgatory, then she'll need some focus. But for this case, she doesn't need focus for this boss because the boss resistance is quite low. She's good in every set to increase her AoE damage by 50%. So these are the equipment stats. This is the weapon, critical rate, critical damage, helmet with some attack and critical rate. This is a chest plate with some critical rate and focus. This is a speed boots with some focus, critical damage and attack. This is an attack ring with some triple roll on critical rate. And finally we have an attack necklace with some critical rate and focus. Her glyphs and abilities are all maxed out. So basically her skills here, right? Thunderstrike is her basic attack, which allows her to remove a positive effect, which makes her a good pair with Edicris to remove the positive effect from the boss, because there are some rounds, right, where the boss is able to apply like 6 positive effect on himself or 4 positive effect on himself. So you need to quickly remove those positive effect, otherwise the boss will just nuke you down. So if you want to use Boolin, I will advise you to just disable her skills so that she will only prioritize on her Thunderstrike basic attack. And this is the third hero, Edicris. He's also his role is here to remove the positive effect because his focus beam, it works similarly to Boolin, and his stats will be quite similar to Boolin as well, just prioritize on attack, critical rate, critical damage, and some focus. And I would highly recommend you to speed tune your remove positive effect heroes as the fastest, so that they can quickly remove those like dodge and decrease damage taken buff on the boss first before your nukers nuke them down. Otherwise those buff, right, will reduce the damage taken on the boss. You can disable Edicris skill so that he will only primarily use the focus beam, or if you want the manual, you can use this elemental incendiary, since it deals like 20% more damage on the enemy compared to his basic attack, which is only 100%. It's also get in a curse set, and curse set allows him to have multiple chances to remove the positive effect from the boss. So this is the weapon stats, some focus, speed, critical rate, and health. This is a helmet with some defense, focus, and agility. This is the chest plate with some critical rate and defense resistance. Ideally this will be focus. This is a speed boots to speed to him to go first in battle. And this one has some focus, critical rate, and defense. And this is a critical rate ring, so he can deal some critical damage. And finally, this is a defense necklace because I couldn't find a lot of attack first necklace in my inventory. His glyphs and abilities are all maxed out. But you do not need his glyph to be maxed out because you'll be using just his basic attack here. And finally, the main hero, Scarlett in Team B. She's here to apply the negative effect. So here are her total stats: 3379 attack, 178 speed, 100% critical rate, 194% critical damage, and 34.5% focus. She speed tune to go second or third in a team. So once she apply her ultimate ability, the wolf shadow charge, then this will summon her wolf, and the wolf will be able to apply the bleeding effect. And each time, once the enemy has this bleeding effect, if your heroes attack the enemy, the wolf will have a chance to attack the enemy to apply the bleeding. So this is the pack leader trait, which allows the Scarlet Wolf to have a 50% chance to apply bleeding on the enemy. And each time the wolf join attack, it only deals 30% damage. If you're able to ascend her, like I think Ascension 5, then you will deal extra bleeding damage. Okay, so here are her gears. She's equipped in a Grave set and Warrior set. Basically, these are my very newbie equipments that I have not used for long, so I just use it on her. Okay, this is her weapon, some health, attack, and speed, critical damage. This is a helmet, attack, agility, critical damage, and critical rate. This is her chest plate with some critical rate, attack, and double flat stats attack. This is speed boost to speed tune her to go either second or third, with some double rolls on critical damage and critical rate here. This is a critical rate ring with some critical damage. Ideally, this will be an attack percentage. Then she'll deal much more damage through her bleeding and the wolf. And finally, we have the attack necklace with some focus, speed, and critical rate. Her glaives and abilities are all maxed out. So you want her to have some focus to apply the bleeding. And ideally, if she is in a curse set, then she'll be able to perform more damage through her claw strike basic attack here and apply more bleeding effect. So that's it for my hero showcase. Hopefully you can get some ideas on how to build your team in order to score SSS ranking to unlock the Dawn Guard avatar frame in the market. If you enjoy the content, please click the like button on this video, and also if you haven't subscribed yet, you can do so and ring the notification bell to stay up to date whenever I upload a new video to this channel. If you like to support my work, you can head over to my patreon.com/Ayumilove to be a patron there. And if you like to learn more about Awaken Chaos era content or Awaken Chaos guide, you can visit ayumilove.net to check out the written guides for some of my videos there. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!